Hey everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the Medal of Honor Warfighter Beta commentary. I realized after finishing the first one I wasn't able to talk about everything that I wanted to, and there was no way I was going to be able to cram it in that 10 minutes, especially since it was some concerns that people had that I wanted to talk about. And instead of, redoing it or doing a 20-minute gameplay of the game, I decided I'd just do another match completely so you get to see some different gameplay. And on this time, I was actually on the objective team, and I got MVP. I got to plant the bomb, which was pretty cool. It definitely made the game more exciting, instead of just killing stuff. So if you're interested in seeing that, this would be good for you to see how it works objective side, and that it is beatable. You don't just get crushed. But anyways, if you haven't seen the first part, feel free to go to the link at the bottom of this video that will have the commentary playlist that I have, that will have all the commentaries that I'll ever do until that one gets filled up at 200, because they have a limit of 200 videos per playlist, which is kind of lame, because some of my bigger, more popular games like Halo and Call of Duty, those get filled up, so I have to make another playlist just for the game. But anyways, so the 2 points that I really wanted to talk about in this beta and this commentary that I didn't get to talk about in the first part was the graphics and replayability slash, oh, this is a rehash. So I'm going to start with the graphics because that was a major thing people brought up. A lot of people, were saying like, oh, the graphics look terrible, they're muddy, they look like PS2. This is not good graphics at all, especially for a Frostbite 2 engine. And I have to agree with them, it's like, oh, well, the graphics aren't very good, but, from an objective standpoint, this is a beta, and so, they're not going to give you the highest quality, because it's not needed to, test networking or the gameplay in general. That's just eye candy. And with Frostbite 2, I totally agree, the graphics should be better, but keep in mind, especially for console, Battlefield 3 came with HD texture install on disc 2, which made the Frostbite 2 engine look amazing. It high-resed all the graphics. So I wouldn't be too quick to judge the game in general if you're really into graphics from this beta, because, this may not be the final output. I heard the game is going to be shipping on 2 discs, so it could have, the HD texture install, or on that disc, because it's, large enough, it may have the good graphics on it. I think they might have just used low res for the beta so you could download it in time, Who wants to download like a 3 gig, beta that would take some people probably days just to get, because not everyone has super fast internet. And, it's not really needed to test stuff. I mean, I guess the graphics in terms of streaming, it could affect networking somehow, but we'll wait and see. If I do get the game, I'm leaning towards getting it, but we'll see. And we'll look at the graphics, and with my gameplay that I captured, you'll probably be able to see a difference. Battlefield 3's beta had, low-res textures. It didn't come with the HD stuff, and it looked 10 times better when it got it, so I would say hold off on judgment for graphics in this game, if that's one of the concerns you had. And the second thing was, people who play is like, oh, this is just, like Call of Duty, it's just rehash shooters, and, it's nothing new. And to a point, I have to agree, it's not like, oh my gosh, this is the most different thing I've ever seen, and it's totally new, and wow, I've never played gameplay like this before, and I can definitely see that, and then at the same time, I feel like, some of it feels a little different, and it definitely provides some cool stuff. I don't think I've played a game that had this hotspot, or whatever it's called, game mode, and I've had some really exciting matches, which I think I've uploaded, that you can watch, some really tense moments where, oh man, are we going to get the bomb planted in time, and they're rushing it, and it definitely made it enjoyable, and the game was fun. So, I feel like, if you have fun in a game, even if it is, like, not the most original idea, then, why not have fun with it? It's like, why does it have to be totally new? And especially for, consoles, how old they are now. Game companies don't want to have totally new IPs, on an old console, because it may not make the sales so great. So I would totally see, with the next consoles, new games and new ideas come, because they'll have, the chance to do that and take more risks. Whereas here, on an old console, they're probably sticking to their guns, with stuff they know people will probably like and enjoy. And I've read a lot of comments of people who hate this and find it boring, and other people like this is really fun and enjoyable. So I think it all comes down to personal preference and tolerance of the type of games you can stand and the same type of games you can keep playing. I mean, as long as you're having fun in your free time, I really don't see a big deal. I mean, milking stuff, there's definitely issues on that, and I can totally go into a commentary on that if that's what you guys want me to talk about. Replayability in games and milking and stuff, but for this one, I feel it has enough different things, like the support stuff feels like, a kill streak or whatever, and the spawn system is a little different. I thought, spawning on a buddy or fallback was kind of cool. It kind of reminded me of Halo Reach's buddy game mode where you would spawn on the same guy, which I didn't really like it in that game though, because if you had a dumb teammate, he would get you killed and you had no choice to fall back. So in here, if you have a dumb teammate that, you don't want to keep spawning on, you can fall back. So it gives you more options in spawning, I guess, and that was different, instead of random spawns like Call of Duty or Battlefield had. I mean, there's no really vehicles in this game, so that's kind of nice. I'm definitely geared more towards the shooter without using vehicles, so, some people may find it boring or step down from Battlefield because there's no vehicles, but it might be down your alley because you're like, oh good, I'm not getting raffle stomped by a helicopter because my teammates don't know how to play this game mode or something, I feel like you have more freedom and control over, getting destroyed. Even if your team's not doing so great, you can, take charge a bit more, which I like. I'm not really into the games where, you can't take over on your own, or, where it's so teamwork oriented that you just get screwed over. But, it's all personal preference, like I said, so the gameplay, to each his own. So those are mainly the two main things, and, it's really depends, and everyone has their own choice on what games they like and what they want to see in a new game. And new games, how new it has to be and how different, and new ideas are hard to come by sometimes, It's not always easy to get new stuff that works, too. Some ideas are really great, but when they're actually in the game, they're awful, they just don't work because people exploit them, or, not enough people like it or are willing to take that chance to play new games. That's another thing. That's why so many people play Call of Duty, because they're like, I know this, and I'll play it. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.